Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Change on this, is it Wednesday? Oh, man. Long one.
Happy hump day.
I'm telling you. We got Mark and Kelsey, Halpin Music in studio, and this is really cool. How are we doing today, guys?
Oh, we're good. Very good. Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, you know, is it humid outside yet? Is it hitting? Getting there?
It'll get there, yeah.
We're getting there today, but you know what? You can be an early bird at Halpin Music. This is really exciting. You know, right off the bat, how are things going at Halpin?
Going good. We're gearing up for our busy time of the year, which is coming, you know, school's just right around the corner. So this is a time of preparation and, you know, just getting everything in place for those kiddos to go back to school and join the band and orchestra and whatever their musical interests are.
Well, and it seems like, you know, when we start talking about getting back into school, especially those last couple of weeks of summer, all the kids start talking about the activities they're going to start to pursue. And, you know, then you surprise your parents the day of school starting and say, I want to be in band this year, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And this is really cool how you guys do this. I'm going to be honest. I had no idea that you guys did these types of rentals. What's the best way to kind of go through this and relay this to the audience? Because I'm looking, I mean, instrument rentals are made simple at Halpin Music.
Right. Well, we've been doing this type of thing for, well, since Halpin Music has been here.
Really?
So, I mean, that was 1961. So we've been renting instruments pretty much the same way since then. I mean, the form and the details have changed a little bit as time has passed, but essentially we've always been about making it as easy as possible for the parent to get a low-cost quality instrument for their child to start the band. Well, and so that's what our simple instrument rental is all about, and that's what we've offered now for many, many years.
Well, and honestly, you know, something that not a lot of people think about is just what you said, a quality instrument for your child, because that can get pretty pricey, you know.
Well, that too, and you know, the other dynamic there is true as well. You can buy a pretty cheap piece of junk online too,
or at Walmart.
Or a Walmart. You know, I don't pick on Walmart too much, but you know, in this internet age, you can buy virtually anything online, including musical instruments. So, you know, the thing that we've always tried to to inform our customers and to let them know that great deal that they found online is not going to be such a great deal if the instrument doesn't last, or if they find themselves in a position where something breaks and they can't get a repair, you know, a part for it because they just don't make them. Whereas the instruments that we sell and rent are instruments that have been in the marketplace, are made by reputable manufacturers, and are designed to last the average student all the way through high school and beyond, if that's what they want to do.
This is really cool. And now, take me through how this works. I know that this is broken up into 3 groups for the different types of instruments that are available just on the site here. So take me through groups A, B, and C, if we could, going through those different options.
Well, you want to jump in?
Sure.
Kelsey, nice to hear from you.
Hi. Group A seems to be the most common group that we see. That's $30 a month, or you can do $216 for the full school year. That does include our maintenance plan, so if something does go wrong with the instrument, if something breaks, if something needs repaired, that is covered. And then part of that price is also being put back towards rental credit that you can use towards the purchase of the instrument eventually, if that's what you decide to do.
Really cool. So it's a really good, honestly, a great opportunity for a parent too to know, hey, if your child's really interested in the instrument and really picking it up, they can have a lot, some alleviation from that initial price point of the instrument.
Right, and that's the whole idea is that, we know that, experience tells us that not every kid is going to succeed at this, okay? So...
You should have heard my half brother.
It's designed for anything within that spectrum. If the child plays for a few months and is like, this is just not for me, it's easy. You just bring the instrument back, contract's canceled, no worries. But if the kid does take to it, and a lot of them do, this allows the parent a way to build equity to buy a good instrument for them to use as long as they want to play it.
This is really cool. And I also see that there's weekly pickup and delivery to the school.
Right.
Yeah, we have a road rep who goes to the schools once a week to pick up repairs, loaners, and we'll deliver them back to the school as well.
Right.
So that way the parent's not driving back and forth if Johnny broke his flute again, or you name it, you guys take care of that.
And sometimes the instrument, breaks. The first one that's going to know about that is the band teacher, okay?
Yeah.
If they're practicing and something happens, then, we have someone that's there and that stops there and can take care of the logistical aspects of all of that.
Well, and honestly, so many times, not so many, but there's times where a child, I'm sure, is scared to tell their parent, hey, I just broke the...
we found that's true quite often. But, the parents will understand that that's why the maintenance program's built into that rental.
Yeah.
The child may not understand that, but the parent can rest secure in knowing that if something does happen, we've got it taken care of. We'll pick it up. We have two long-time, experienced, trained repair techs that can take care of the problems and get the instrument back to the school with a minimum of downtime.
Well, I love the two options that you guys give too, with this monthly and yearly option, because it's going to be different for everybody, and some parents might not be able to pull out the $216 right away or the $360. But there's still an option for everybody to have this same opportunity.
They're just not sure
if they're going to continue to
stick it out for the whole year.
It's like, listen, son, you wanted to do swim team, and now after a day you were done with this. What are we doing now?
Exactly right.
And is there whenever we're talking about just all of these different options, I'm sure that there's a chance for maybe a child doesn't really like the flute. Maybe they want to try the clarinet. Are there exchanges available in this?
Yes, you can swap out inventory at any time. If they change their mind, say, hey, my friend Sally plays the clarinet, I want to try the clarinet. You can swap that out at any time, and it doesn't change anything unless you move to a different group.
That's really cool.
Exactly right.
When you're talking to parents about this, what are their thoughts about? Are they kind of surprised that there is such a unique opportunity there to make sure every child can play music?
Well, I think it's just something that they don't really consider or even think about until that need arises, and then they're like, well, where do we start with this? So our aim is to be able to inform them and very simply put them in a spot where the deal's done. They've got an instrument for their child, and it really is pretty painless.
All the stress is out of it.
Yeah.
And now, throughout the school year, I'm sure I couldn't even begin to imagine the ballpark here, but if you could ballpark the amount of families that you're working with throughout a school year.
Oh my gosh. It's really hard to say.
I couldn't imagine.
Hundreds.
Because, there's not a lot of opportunities to know that you have a trusted, reliable spot for your music instrument needs, because online I look at things and I don't know nothing about music instruments, and I'm sure that there's 90% of parents out there that are like me. And so when you talk with folks, how important is the education process on what to look for in a good instrument and the quality
Well,
there?
it is very important. And I think, I'm pretty old school. I've been at Halpin Music since 1980, okay?
Wow.
So, back, before internet was even, an idea, I was trained to really count on and lean into the personal relationships, the face-to-face, talking to them, building trust with them, informing them on the things that they need to know, and trying sift out the stuff that's not really that important, so that they know, that they're making an educated decision about something that's very important for the child. And the internet obviously has changed that a great deal. We all like to go to this, first and foremost to get an answer to a, hey Siri, and there's a lot of information out there, and some of it is accurate and true, and some of it is not. So.
Well, you know what I thought was funny, and this is kind of a tie-in. I always wanted to play an instrument, but I can barely play the computer keyboard, So I was looking one day and said, what would be a good starter guitar? Okay, and Google decided to tell me that some type of Martin would have been the best way, but it's a pretty expensive piece of equipment.
Well, you're starting, you're learning how to drive with a Cadillac.
Right. And that's why I'd rather go into you guys, because as a parent, I'm sure little Johnny's going to show you that Martin or show you the state-of-the-art acoustic, but could be a better, more cost-affordable option.
There really, really are. In this day and age, we talk about, where we live in a culture that's, kind of about disposable things,
Right.
But, and that's true to some extent, but you've got to, in a situation, in a pursuit like this, you need something that's going to last the child, and it's going to sustain and withstand, because these instruments are designed to withstand. The child really doesn't know how to care for it yet. Really doesn't know how to, properly do things, and then these instruments are designed to do and to withstand those things. And if something does happen, well, we've got the means to take care of that as well.
What is the most wild repair that you guys have had to do on one of these instruments?
Well,
Probably a complete restoration of some kind.
well, true. We've seen, and I've been around a long time, so I can tell stories.
Yeah.
I can literally go on forever.
I bet I could only imagine this.
Where the one that comes to mind immediately is, the guy that walked out to the bus stop with his saxophone and set it right down there at the edge of the. Bus driver got a little too close and
Oh no!
crunch. So yeah, or the other one is the little toddler that got a hold of sister's flute and wanted to see if it would float in the fish tank.
Oh no! So you guys have pretty much encountered it all.
Yeah, it didn't float in the fish tank. It kind of ruined the pads. And stuff,
Well, I just think that's what makes, your program so unique, and really it shows the importance of it, because, that conversation goes a little bit differently when they know that, they're a part of something that I'm sure that's a little bit different when you're, getting your instrument obliterated by your bus. But, whenever little Sally throws a flute in the fish tank going, it's bad, but it's not the end of the world.
But it's not the end of the world. We can deal with that.
Wonderful. Kelsey, what's your favorite part about being at Halpin?
Well, I really like the part where we get to educate students and parents about music
Yeah.
and the instruments, and show them how to care for the instruments.
Right.
Stuff
We haven't
like
even
that.
talked about our lesson program.
Yeah, we do have a great lesson program. We offer lots of lessons in different areas, great instructors, and it's really affordable.
Well, and that's what's cool to hear. And let's touch base on that here after a quick break. But I think it's really cool to know that there's a place, because we always hear things about sports, and we're a sports family in mind, but to know that there's a spot that you can get some great reps, you can train with, train in your musical instrument with some of the best people around, and know that there's really a hub for this in the community, again, is just amazing. So at 9:30, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more with Mark Kelsey, Halpin Music. Band and orchestra instrument rentals are available. The early bird process has started. You can go to halpinmusic.com/instrument rental to get started today, or just keep hanging out with us and learning more about the benefits that await you.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Hot town, summer in the city, back of my neck getting pretty.
9:33, welcome back. It doesn't even feel like summer this last week. You know, it's been nice.
Well, since the monsoon.
Yeah, it's,
you know.
oh my goodness. I'm telling you what, you've never seen somebody drive as fast because I knew I have a dirt basement and I knew I was in trouble. I knew the moment I saw the gates of hell open up on our skies that we were in deep trouble.
Oh my, yeah. There were a lot of people that suffered that day.
Oh man,
it was
just terrible.
It was.
And you know, we were talking during the break, and Kelsey, you're a little bit of a savant when it comes to the music lesson program over at Halpin Music. Fill me in.
I am one of the lessons administrators there, so I deal with the billing and scheduling, and I'm also the violin instructor as well. Our lesson program is really great because we've got good quality instructors that care about the students and their progress. A lot of our instructors put on recitals and things like that, and they have a lot to offer.
Really cool. Well, when you guys put on recitals, are they open to the public to attend? Are they private or?
They're typically open to the public.
If they're open to the public, let us, and I'll add them to the calendar because I want more, children to feel empowered by playing music. I mean, definitely.
Absolutely.
What is the most utilized instrument? I just heard you say something about the Big Five. Is there a frequently used instrument for
Well,
or a go-to?
Well, in terms of if we're talking about lessons strictly, probably the two ones that come to mind first for someone are piano and maybe guitar.
Guitar, yeah.
In terms of, hey mom, I want to play guitar.
Yeah.
Or grandma is insistent that you learn how to play piano. So, but that's kind of a starting point, and those, particularly piano, will lead. Will generally a student will learn a lot of things that are helpful even if they pick up another instrument later.
I was going to ask you that because, I've heard and by the way, no musical genius at all. That's why I talk into a microphone.
We won't hold that.
But, I've heard that where if you can really pick up, is there some core lessons that you can learn from any instrument that you play?
Yeah. Generally speaking, if you just really want to get a basic understanding on, say, a violin, well, you can do that. In just a few lessons, you can have a basic working knowledge.
Yeah.
How to play a violin or play Three Blind Mice on the violin. You could probably do that. Or what is it? Hot Cross Buns. I think is the,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Well, no. Is a viola harder to learn than a violin?
They're probably about the same in difficulty. Viola reads a different clef than violin, so the notes on the staff are in different places. But as far as technique, we're pretty much the same.
Really cool. And just getting it, because when I was a kid, this is bad, not really, but I guess it's bad. I was 8 years old, and my first real movie I watched was The Godfather, and ever since then I was 8, and I wanted to play the viola,
Yeah.
Well, and now with your music lessons, do they encompass every instrument you can really kind of think of at that young at those levels?
Well, I think the major ones, like I said,
Yeah.
piano and guitar, and then violin
And woodwinds. We offer
and
woodwinds, trumpet,
drums and percussion.
Wow.
We have a fellow that teaches trumpet lessons. So it kind of covers a pretty full spectrum.
And with this, is it? Do you have group lessons at all, or are these all private?
Well, what we offer, our main offering is private lessons. Although I think we're kind of in the process of expanding into a group lesson environment as well.
It's in the works.
We've kind of realized that might kind of open the door to a group of people that may not really be into a one-on-one environment. Maybe being in a group setting might be more their thing. So we are in the process of getting some things started.
I'm glad I looked at that crystal ball in the commercial break. I thought, what can I foresee coming here? No, Kelsey, whenever someone starts in music, and just in your experience with the violin lessons and working with them, I'm sure there's a crisis of confidence when someone starts this, and it's like, the mountain is monstrous, and how are we going to get to feeling comfortable playing? In your experience, and honestly, I'll leave this an open-ended for you as well, Mark, how long does it take for a student of yours or any kind to really get some sort of base foundation for that instrument?
Really depends on how much they practice.
Well, that's true.
But it can take a little while, but if they're determined and if the teacher is there for them, then it can't take too long.
I mean, I can speak for myself. When I started on the trumpet, we won't talk about how long ago that was. In the band, at school, the school band, and the first month or so, it was really kind of a grind. Go home and practice your 20 minutes a day, blah blah blah. And I was really kind of struggling with it. I went back to my band teacher, and I'm like, I don't think this is for me. And he's like, and to his credit, he's like, don't give up yet. He's like, stick with it, because you'll get to a point. And he was right. A few weeks later, it's like the light switch flipped. It's like, oh, hey, suddenly I could do things, and I could play melodies, and I could, had I given up, I would never have known. But, from that, I stuck with it. I played trumpet. I eventually switched to the tuba, in high school, and, it wouldn't have happened had I given up. So you really have to kind of, lean into it, apply yourself,
trust the process,
and have a little bit of patience. That it's going to be a struggle maybe at first, but eventually, if you stick with it,
it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Kelsey, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the encouragement part of it is very important as well. With my students, there's a lot of basics that you have to learn, but my first goal is always get them playing something, because if they can play something at all, then they get excited.
Right.
And if you can get them excited, then they're in.
And that makes total sense. And you were speaking about the drum. I did a music show in St. Louis for about a year and a half on Fridays. And one of the guys' coolest thing, his name's Joe Bosey, and he played at the Playboy Club and with Dizzy Gillespie and all of these guys. Oh my goodness, to hear the history. Oh man. But just to hear how important though that type of music was to the region for such a long time. I had no idea the prowess that the Metro East had when it came to this type of work.
Absolutely.
Just incredible.
This area has a pretty rich musical history if you do your research.
It really does. We had a guy, he's playing at the Blues Festival, and he said, man, I'm such a Miles Davis guy. Do they have anything that has a statue or anything you guys got down there? I go, well, you can go to the statue or you can drive by the plot of land that was his house. I don't know if it's still standing, but it's just people. It really is amazing the core that this area holds for such key, musical historical significances. And getting back to this, as we've been already talking for 30 minutes, this is amazing. Group A is $30 a month or $216 a year with flute, clarinet, trumpet, trombone, snare drum kits, percussion bell kit, combination snare bell kit, violin, and viola. I knew some of those. Group B, $50 a month, $360 a year, and Group C is $75 a month and $540 a year. How do you guys come up with those sets? Is it just dependent on the request?
Basically, just dependent upon the price of the instrument. When you get into Group B, you're getting into instruments like an alto saxophone or a cello or things that have a higher cost. And
makes sense.
So that really is the primary determination.
That's really cool. And what I think's great is that there's something everyone has the opportunity here. You aren't excluding any instrument, it looks like.
Absolutely not.
I love this. I mean, I truly do. And how does this work? How does a parent call, sign up, be a part of the program, or enroll in lessons?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
I was getting to that, but I wanted to keep them waiting.
Yeah. You can actually do all of that online. We've got lesson forms online, rental forms online, and then as soon as you submit those, somebody from our office gives you a call, get you on the schedule or get payment, and we can get all the instruments delivered to the school. Yeah.
And look at this. This is HalpinMusic.com, and a little bit zoomed in here, but you can see that's Group A. That's the $216. Save 20% if you pay for the full year.
Right.
And that's how you can sign up for this really cool opportunity for simple instrument rental. Instrument rentals made simple. You'll see it right there. Plus, you'll see the different options for Group B. Group C, you click on Rent Now. It'll take you to another page where you can put your information in and you can take care of it. I just love it. I mean, this is really, really cool. And you guys have done this for how long, Mark?
Well, we've been renting instruments since 1961.
That's incredible. And you know what I think's great is how many times the thousands of people have drove by either location of where Halpin is and just don't realize all the really cool programs and different services that are inside. And, is there anything else that I'm forgetting about, guys, that we need to hit on that we haven't yet?
We also offer repairs, not only for band and orchestra instruments, but for guitar as well.
Oh, really cool.
Our repairs for guitar is pretty extensive as well.
Yeah. And some electronic stuff, too, amps and keyboards and things like that. And the other thing is just, having been in this business for so long, I've got to say I have a wonderful... I like to try and call myself kind of semi-retired now because truly I have, Kelsey and John and we have two Kelseys.
Kelsey.
And Neil and Ben and Tim and Carolyn and Joe. They're all, they're very knowledgeable and very just there to make the experience as wonderful. It's not going to be high pressure. It's not going to be something that you're coerced into. It's going to be you're going to be given the information that you need, and you can make the decision that you need to do.
What I think's really cool too is just hearing about the passion that all of y'all have. Because when you can walk into any store, but if there's the worker there, the employee or the manager isn't really enthused with you and getting you excited and really making the process an event, because it should be fun to go do these things. And I think that's why you guys have been so successful for all these years, is just that passion,
I mean, we truly are your hometown. I mean, we're all here. I mean, we're all locals. We truly are the hometown resource for those types of things.
Yeah, I think we really stand by our motto, which is music for life, and we live by it for sure.
Absolutely.
Can I add something real quick? You guys?
Sure.
Sorry, I had to verify before I went on the air and said something foolish here. I don't know if you all knew this, but Halpin has a Centralia office, correct?
Yes, we do have a location in Centralia.
How many of you were learning that for the first time today? I wanted to know. I hope not very many, but if I'm learning, so many else.
It's possible. We've been down there since 2015.
2015, really cool. I'm telling you, I'm learning a lot today, Mark and Kelsey, and I hope that you guys are too. Get started. I mean, you know that your child's going to come up to you the day after school starts and say, well, I've been wanting to do this for all summer. I told you 40 times. They didn't, but you don't have to worry about it when you can just call Halpin Music
or go online.
Go to the website, halpinmusic.com, and go on that simple instrument rental tab or the music lessons tab. Fill that form out, and you're getting going with your trusted, true, and local hometown music store. That's Halpin Music. Learn more, halpinmusic.com. Guys, thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, thank you for having us on today. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, no problem. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we got Lacey McDonald, Hainer Library, and This Week in Local History 100 years ago. We'll find out what we're talking about next.